Hello and welcome to our English podcast for real fluency. My name is David.
And I'm Emily. We are so excited you are joining us today to take another step toward your English goals.
Emily, let me ask you something. Have you ever learned a brilliant new English word, felt so proud of yourself, and then the next morning, it's gone? It has completely vanished from your brain?
Oh, all the time, David. It's the most frustrating feeling for a language learner. You feel like your memory is broken. You study and study, but the words just don't stick.
It's a feeling every single learner has. But what if we told you there is a secret weapon to fight this forgetting? A tool that all successful language learners use.
And the best part is, this tool is simple, it's free, and you can start using it today. That tool is repetition.
I know. The word repetition might sound boring, but today we are going to show you how repetition is not boring at all. It is the most powerful key you have to unlock real English fluency.
That's right. We're going to share smart, fun, and effective ways to use repetition. By the end of this episode, you will see repetition as your new best friend.
So, why is repetition our best friend? Why is it so important for learning? It's all about how our brain works. Let's make it simple. Think of your memory as having two rooms. A small waiting room, which is your short-term memory, and a giant, beautiful library, which is your long-term memory.
When you learn a new word for the first time, it enters the small waiting room. It sits there, but it can't stay for long. If you don't do anything with it, your brain will think it's not important and will throw it out. That's why you forget it the next day. The word never left the waiting room. Repetition is the ticket that moves the new word from the small waiting room into the big permanent library of your long-term memory.
I love that analogy. Here is another one. Learning a new word is like creating a path in a forest. The first time, it's hard work. But if you walk that same path again tomorrow, it gets a little easier.
And if you walk it every week, soon you have a clear, wide road. You can walk down it quickly and easily, without even thinking. That wide road is a strong memory connection in your brain.
So, repetition isn't about being slow or forgetful. It's about building strong roads in your brain. The more you repeat something, the stronger and faster that connection becomes.
Exactly. It's not magic. It's just brain science, and it works for everyone.
Now, it's important to note that not all repetition is created equal. There are two main types: passive repetition and active repetition.
Ooh, this sounds interesting. What is the difference, David?
Passive repetition is when you only receive the language. For example, you are listening to an English song in the background, or you see a word written down. You are not really interacting with it.
So it's like the language is just washing over you. It's helpful, but it's not the most powerful way to learn.
Exactly. Active repetition is the real superstar. This is when you do something with the language. You actively use your brain.
Can you give us some examples of active repetition?
Of course, writing the new word in your own sentence is active. Saying the word out loud is active. Trying to explain the meaning of the word to yourself is active. Using a flashcard to test yourself is very active.
So if I just read a list of words, that's passive. But if I cover the list and try to remember the words, that's active.
You got it. Active repetition sends a much stronger signal to your brain. It says, hey, this information is really important. Don't throw it away. Move it to the long-term library.
So, our advice to you is to focus on active repetition as much as possible. Don't just read, write. Don't just listen, speak. It will make a huge difference. Okay, so we need to do active repetition. But when should we repeat? If I learn a new word today, should I repeat it 100 times right now?
That's a fantastic question, Emily. And the answer is no. Repeating something 100 times in one day is not very effective. The secret is not just repetition, but spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition. That means leaving a space or a gap in time between your reviews.
Precisely. Your brain learns better when you review information at increasing intervals. So, you might review a new word one day after learning it, then 3 days later, then 1 week later, then 1 month later.
Why does that work so well?
Because each time you are almost forgetting the word. That little bit of difficulty, that feeling of, oh, what was that word again, makes your brain work harder to remember it. And that hard work builds a stronger memory.
It's like lifting weights for your brain. The challenge makes it stronger. And the good news is there are amazing apps that do this for you. They're called Spaced Repetition Systems, or SRS.
Yes, apps like Anki or Quizlet use this smart technology. They show you a flashcard just before you are about to forget it. It feels like magic.
You don't need to use an app. You can do it with paper flashcards. But using a spaced repetition system is a very smart and efficient way to learn vocabulary and never forget it.
Let's talk about another smart repetition strategy. And this one is my favorite. It's the power of listening and re-listening.
I love this one too. Many learners think they should always listen to something new, a new podcast, a new video, a new story. But re-listening to something you already understand is incredibly powerful.
Think about your favorite song. Why do you know all the words? Because you have listened to it hundreds of times. You can do the same with English learning materials.
For example, you could listen to this podcast episode again tomorrow. The first time you listen, maybe you focus on understanding the main idea.
The second time you listen, you will notice new things. Maybe you will focus on the new vocabulary words we used. You can write them down.
The third time you listen, maybe you can focus on the pronunciation. You can try to notice how we link our words together. You are listening to the same audio, but your focus is different each time.
This is a fantastic way to improve your listening skills, your vocabulary, and your pronunciation all at the same time. It's also very relaxing because you are not stressed about understanding everything.
So find a short audio clip, a podcast episode, or even a scene from a movie that you love and listen to it again and again. You will be amazed at how much you learn. Just like re-listening is powerful, so is rereading. Many people feel pressure to always be reading a new book or a new article.
But there are huge benefits to reading the same text multiple times. Let's say you find a short news story or a blog post that is interesting to you. It should be maybe 200 or 300 words long.
Okay, I have my short article. What do I do?
The first time you read it, just try to understand the main idea. Don't stop for every new word. Just get a general feeling for the text.
Okay, that sounds easy enough. What about the second time?
The second time you read it, you can use a dictionary. Look up the important new words that you don't understand. Maybe highlight them or write them down in a notebook.
So the second reading is for vocabulary building. I like this structured approach.
Exactly. Now, the third time you read it, you can focus on something else. Maybe you can look at the grammar, notice the verb tenses, or look at how prepositions like in, on, and at are used.
By the third time, I will know the story and the vocabulary, so I can really focus on the small details of the language. This is such a smart way to learn.
It is. Rereading helps you see the deep structure of the language. It builds confidence because you are working with material you already understand. Don't be afraid to read things more than once. We've talked about repeating with our ears and our eyes. Now it's time to talk about repeating with our mouths. I am talking about speaking and shadowing.
Shadowing. This is a fantastic technique. Can you explain what it is, David?
Shadowing is simple. You listen to a native speaker and you try to copy them exactly like a shadow. You repeat what they say almost at the same time.
So you are not just repeating the words, but you are also trying to copy the rhythm, the intonation, and the pronunciation, the music of the language.
Exactly. It can feel a little strange at first, but it is one of the best ways to improve your accent and fluency. It trains the muscles in your mouth to make English sounds.
Let's try a very short example with our listeners right now. We will say a sentence, and we want you to repeat it out loud right after us. Try to copy our pronunciation. Ready?
The sentence is, repetition is the key to success.
Now you say it. Repetition is the key to success.
Did you do it? Great job! You can do this with any audio. You can shadow this podcast. You can pause the audio after every sentence and repeat it.
This is active repetition at its best. You are listening and speaking at the same time. It connects the sounds you hear with the movements of your mouth. It's a powerful way to build speaking confidence. Now, we have to be honest. Sometimes repetition can feel a little boring. Looking at the same list of words every day isn't very exciting.
That is true. So the challenge for us as learners is to make repetition fun and engaging. How can we do that, Emily?
One of my favorite ways is to use variety. Don't just learn from a textbook. Repeat and review using materials you love. If you love music, re-listen to your favorite English songs. If you love movies, re-watch your favorite scenes.
That is a great tip. When you are having fun, it doesn't feel like studying. Another idea is to make your example sentences personal or funny.
Yes. If you learn the word exhausted, which means very tired, don't just write, I am exhausted. Write something funny, like, my cat is exhausted after sleeping for 18 hours.
A funny or emotional connection helps you remember the word much better. You can also use pictures. Instead of writing the translation of a word on your flashcard, draw a simple picture. Our brains are very good at remembering images.
And play games. There are so many apps and websites that turn vocabulary review into a game. You can compete with yourself or others.
The message is this: repetition is necessary, but it doesn't have to be boring. Be creative. Find ways to play with the language. When you are playing, you are learning.
A question that many students ask is, how much repetition is enough? How many times do I need to see a word before I really know it?
That's a great question. Of course, every person is different, but language learning experts often say that you need to interact with a new word between 7 and 15 times before it becomes a permanent part of your vocabulary.
And those interactions should be in different situations or contexts. You might see the word in a news article, hear it in a podcast, use it in a sentence you write, and then say it in a conversation.
That's 4 different interactions right there. Every time you meet the word in a new place, the memory gets stronger and deeper.
So don't feel bad if you don't remember a word after seeing it once or twice. That is completely normal. No one does. Your brain needs to see that the word is important and useful in many different situations.
A simple plan could be to review new words the next day, then a few days later, then a week later. During that week, try to find the word in a song or a story. Be a detective and hunt for your new vocabulary in the real world.
That's a great way to think about it. Be a word detective. When you find it, you'll feel a sense of excitement and achievement, and that feeling will lock the word in your memory. Well, our time is almost up. We have talked a lot about the true power of repetition today.
We have. Let's do a very quick recap of the smart strategies you can use. First, use active repetition, not passive. Speak, write, and test yourself.
Use spaced repetition to review information just before you forget it. This is how you move words into your long-term memory efficiently.
Re-listen to podcasts and reread short articles. Each time you do, you will discover something new about the language.
Practice shadowing. Repeat what you hear to improve your pronunciation and fluency. It connects your ears to your mouth.
And most importantly, make it fun. Use materials you love and be creative. A happy learner is a successful learner.
We want to leave you with one final thought. Repetition is not a sign of failure or a bad memory. It is the professional method that all successful people use to master a skill, from athletes to musicians to language learners.
You are not just studying English, you're training your brain. Be patient, be consistent, and embrace the power of repetition. You are on the right path to fluency. Thank you for joining us today.
Until next time, keep practicing and keep believing in yourself. Goodbye for now.